Me now is Vermont's independent Senator Bernie Sanders, chairman of the Senate Committee on Affairs. Senator Sanders, thanks for being here tonight.
My pleasure.
Senator, one of your colleagues going after the veterans groups, back in February, he and 40 other Republicans blocked a bill you proposed to expand health care programs for vets. How can they justify that, Senator?
Well, Al, that's a great question. This was, according to the veterans organizations, the most comprehensive veterans legislation introduced in decades, legislation that addressed health care, dental care, education, employment, the family needs of veterans back home. It was a bill that had the support of every single major veterans organizations. And when we brought it to the floor, we had every Democrat supporting it, and we only had two Republican senators on board, Senator Heller and Senator Moran. And we could not overcome the Republican filibuster and get the 60 votes that we needed. We were only able to get 56.
Only two Republicans. This is amazing. And this was a bill that would help give expanded health care to veterans that they're now out claiming to be so concerned about.
Right. And, you know, here's what really is troubling to me, Al. If you listen to the remarks made by the Republican senators, what they were saying is this is an expensive piece of legislation. And the answer is, to some degree, it is. Mm-hmm. And my response has been and always will be, if you are not prepared to take care of the men and women who put their lives on the line to defend this country, who came back wounded in body, wounded in spirit, if you're not prepared to help those people, then don't send them to war in the first place.
That's right.
I find that many of these Republicans, it's just hypocritical to be talking about the cost of this legislation when they don't understand the real cost of war and what it means to the people who fight in those wars.
And I think that's what galls people like me, is the hypocrisy. At one level, you're going to send people to war, even wars that end up being completely unjustifiable. At another level, you want to be very, very careful not to spend money on veterans and the people that you put on the front lines. It seems to me to be such a contradictory position, Senator.
Al, when you talk about the cost of war, I mean, I think most people know that in Iraq and Afghanistan, we've lost close to 7,000 men and women. What many people may not appreciate is that some 200,000 of people who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan have come home with post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury. Others have come home without legs, without eyesight, without arms. People really suffered. And if our country stands for anything, it must be that we do everything that we can to protect those people who put their lives on the line to defend us.
I want to ask you this quickly. You know, there have been a lot of attacks from the right on the VA scandal for political purposes. But listen to how far some are going. Here's Fox News contributor Dr. Ben Carson. Listen to this.
I think what's happening with the veterans is a gift from God to show us what happens when you take layers and layers of bureaucracy and place them between the patients and the healthcare provider. And if we can't get it right with the relatively small number of veterans, how in the world are you going to do it with the entire population?
Calling this scandal a gift from God, what's your reaction, Senator?
Al, let me respond to this. You know, we held a hearing on this about a week and a half ago, and I asked all of the veterans organizations who were at the hearing, tell me about the quality of care in the VA once people get into the system. And what they said without exception, and what independent survey after survey backs up, is the quality of health care in the VA is good to excellent. The problem that we're having is getting people into the VA in a timely manner.
Right.
The VA established very aggressive goals. It may well be that with 2 million new people coming into the VA in the last 4 years, that in certain parts of the country they can't achieve those goals. We've got to help them be able to do that.
Well, I think your Republican colleagues need to get their story straight. Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Coming up, some Republicans want another contract with America. Only problem is